Now, Edanna, out of all the ages, I think is one of the most beautiful ages rendered in this game. Despite the fact that sometimes you have to kind of stare at a screen to figure out what exactly you're looking at, but once you do, it's actually pretty. And we have another magnifying glass here. There's no sun on it, and it looks like we can't move it. More sabotage from Saavedro. He specifically wanted it to point it right here at the base of the roots of this plant. So, if you recall, I think it's like nature encourages mutual dependence, something like that. We have to get rid of this plant. So you want to move this little light reflector mirror pointed directly at the magnifying glass. And then you got to work your way all the way to the other side of this jungle area. But if you take a look, there's more to this trunk that leads further off to the left there. But you want to head down for now to solve this current puzzle and save the bird. Now, technically speaking, you have all the time in the world to save this bird. It's never going to die because there's never a time limit. But if you want to continue any further in this age, you're going to have to. So let's work our way around the roots of the plant. Past the mural painting that he probably spent days doing. Very artistic, that guy is. Then go to the first mirror plant we went to. And then pretty much move it from one to the other. Yep, that one up there. That bounces off the one up there through the magnifying glass and pops the bud. Releasing the manta ray, which shocks the roots and releases the bird. Simple as that, folks. That bird will never get caught in that plant again. Then you gotta switch it back here, otherwise you're not gonna get to the last section of the age. Now here's a little bit of fridge horror for you. What would happen if you never even bothered coming to this age in the first place? Like, you know, Saavedro was stuck here forever, Atrus never dropped his Tomana linking book, what have you, and the bird got caught and there was no one to save it. Oh, then this whole ecosystem would die, the tree would wither away, and, well, Saavedro would have just killed an entire age all by himself. Just food for thought. So here's a little tricky alternate path here. And then I think... wait a minute, I think I might have passed something here. Let's go back one. Ah, some pages. These ones are easily missed. But they also give some good info on Saavedro's psyche. He's not all there after 20 years. He likes to talk to himself. Like most crazy people. Now this brings you down to the bottom and last section of Edanna. The swamp is what I like to call it. But if you were to actually come down here and haven't solved the bird puzzle yet with the evil plant, you're like, how do I get back? Well, you actually come up to this plant here in case you accidentally come down to the swamp area early, and this plant will take you back up. Kind of weird. But yeah, just in case you made the mistake that you went to the swamp too early. So the designers thought about that. Wow, that is such a weird plant. But it's good when designers think ahead and they don't have the player stuck when they make a mistake. And they can't reverse it. Because there are some games I know where if you do things out of order, the developers didn't account for that, and you basically broke the game, and you have to restart and do it in the order that the designers originally intended for you to play it. And that's just sloppy design, really. So here's the nice swamp, and there's a closed bud over there in the center of the, I guess you could say, pond. There's an alternate route over there, but you don't want to go there just yet. You want to travel all the way to the end here to a reflector mirror. You want to point this directly at those stamen. See how they move in response to the light? You want that stamen of that bud all the way up. Now you can go back and take that other route we saw earlier. We're still not sure at this point what we need to do here, but all will be revealed in time. Ah, it looks like there's an open bud and with some pollinating insects, and look, there's that purple fruit that we saw all the way back at the beginning. That's what the bird was feeding its young. And since the book and everything that we need is in the nest, we gotta get to where that bird is. And that thing's faulty. It's not working right. So how to get into the nest? We probably need to go through its food source. Looks like the pollen drives away the insects, but the stamen is not going to have any of that. It's bringing the insects back. So you got to have some way to close this pod and then remove the pollinating insects. So, one thing to do about it, we got to get rid of the sun from that stamen. As long as the sun's beaten down on it, it's not going to retract anytime soon. Yep, another one of these plants, but this time instead of retreating the palm fronds, we're going to be extending them. And as you can hear, it looks like it's closing up. Oh yeah, but the insects are still there. So we're going to have to go back and release that pollen to get them to move to the other, more lucrative pod in the other side of the swamp. And basically with that, we've technically solved the entire age. We just need to go through this little root pipe, I guess. Yep, one last set of page, or just one page here. But yeah, we're just going to go through this little root, where I guess the water travels through. And now we're up in the center of the plant itself, the bud. There's the pollinating insects. There's the actual purple fruit that the bird eats. And this looks like something we can pull down on. And now one cool thing about Myst 3 Exile compared to the other two games is that once you've completely solved an age in its entirety, you get a cool, basically like ending cinematic for the age. In this case, we get a nice wild ride from the bird itself. It grabs the fruit, takes us up to its nest, drops us off. Kind of a cool little, hey, congratulations to the player for solving the age. This one's pretty cool. Voltaic is just as cool. And now Materia is just, oh my goodness, we gotta see that one just to believe it. It's out of this world. And it's kind of confused to see why we're inside of its food, so let's not make it any matter and piss it off. So let's just slide down here. And what is this? This looks like an interesting symbol. We should probably draw it, which is exactly what your character does. Now, none of this will make any sense to you right now, but once you get to Narayan, where Saavedro is, all these weird symbols will actually have meaning. Not only in how they look, but in their positioning as well. But there's nothing left to do here. We got what we came for. We got the symbol. It's time to link back to Edanna. But in this instance, we're actually going to be linking back straight into the center structure itself. From here on out, we are no longer locked outside. Okay, if you recall, you need to put this piece of paper on this device to change up the actual message that appears. I have no idea what these gears do. It seems highly inefficient to me.
Not so easy, is it, Atrus? Running like a rat through a maze, looking for some sign that'll help you save your world. Is it over here? Is it over there? Is it someplace I can't find? Sirrus and Achenar didn't care about saving Narayan. All that talk about fixing instabilities, rewriting the age so that we would be free to live our lives, that was just talk to hide the truth of why they had come. But we believed their lies, Atrus. So we abandoned our traditions, forgetting that those traditions were keeping Narayan alive. And when the lattice trees started to die, I followed them here to tell them what they had done. And they laughed. They said they would never fix Narayan. They said that they had already taken everything it had worth saving. So, my dear old friend, Atrus, I brought you to this place where your education begins. Find the remaining 2 symbols, and then come see what your boys did to Narayan.
Okay, we have 1 symbol down, 2 more to go. Next up will be Voltaic. See you later in the next video, everybody.